So if you've been keeping up with recent Roblox news, you might be informed on some of the future changes coming to the Roblox platform in the near future. For one, Roblox will be split into different acts for different age ranges. Roblox Kids for users under age 9, Roblox Select for users from age 9 to 15, and normal Roblox will now be only for people ages 16 plus. Second is the change of Roblox Premium to a new $4.99 subscription called ROBLOX Plus, which seems pretty decent until we get to the last part of the new requirements for making Roblox games, specifically the requirement for publishing games to the entire player base, which now requires a ROBLOX Plus subscription if you don't want to publish the game to people only 16 plus. Reasonably, this has caused some concern for upcoming developers and the entire community. Roblox has been completely free to publish games on since its inception, and now that is changing, with developers having to buy a subscription to even have the chance of getting their game to a wider audience, without the guarantee that their game will become popular and that they will get their money back in the long run. And so I'm here to show some alternatives for Roblox developers, providing engines that both do and don't use Lua as the main scripting language like Roblox, and also providing the pros and cons for each. First is Love2D. Love2D is free, open source, uses Lua, and can export to Windows, Mac, Linux, iOS, and Android. Love2D is quite actively developed and has a large community, but it also has some cons. For one, Love2D is a framework. It doesn't have an editor like Roblox and many other game engines. If you want to do certain things, or most things, you're going to have to do it through code. Second is that Love2D cannot export to consoles. Love2D, also as the name suggests, can only do 2D games. There is no support natively for making 3D games. And lastly, for Love2D, you must figure out multiplayer on your own. It is not as easy as just making a game like in Roblox. Our second game engine is Defold. Defold is free, open source, and uses Lua just like Love2D. But as it is an actual engine, it has an editor that you can use to do most of your development. Defold can also export to Windows, Mac, Linux, iOS, Android, web, and consoles, with the consoles that Defold does support right now being PlayStation and Nintendo Switch. In terms of Xbox support, Defold has that on the way. It is also important to note that Defold does console exports for free. You are actually allowed to export your console games for free and have the console source code as long as you are approved by console manufacturers. Defold is actively developed and has around bi-weekly engine updates. It also has a decent-sized community and plenty of tools and community extensions. The cons for Defold are that it is mainly 2D. It does have 3D support, but it is not at the same level as Roblox or other engines. Another con is that depending on you as the user and your hardware, you may experience some performance issues when doing a task like adding a lot of images. But that is a personal experience, so it might be different for you. Another thing is that Defold has a different workflow to other normal, conventional game engine development standards. And lastly, just like Love2D, multiplayer must be figured out on your own. Although I do know that there are several tools created by the community that allow you to use multiplayer frameworks such as Nakama by Heroic Labs and Colisius, which make it slightly easier compared to Love. As an honorable mention, I wanted to point out that there are Godot bindings for Lua, allowing you to script your games completely in Lua, although I would strongly advise against using these bindings, as they are created by the community, and if you face any problems, you will likely have to rely on the developer of the bindings to make changes, and it might not be as simple as just using Godot's scripting languages of choice. But that provides a good segue into our non-Lua game engine, with the first being Godot. Godot has the pros of being free, open source, and being able to export to Windows, Mac, Linux, iOS, Android, and web. Godot is very actively developed and has a very large community. And it also has many fleshed out 2D and 3D tools and community extensions to boot. The cons for Godot, however, are that, just like Love 2D, it has no native console export support. If you want to make your games available on console, you will simply have to use third-party services in order to port your game. Another con is, as mentioned earlier, Godot's scripting language of choice isn't Lua. It actually mainly uses GDScript, C#, or C++. And, just like with Defold and Love 2D, multiplayer must be figured out on your own. Although, again, like with Defold, there are several community extensions to use Nakama by Hero Labs and Colisius for easier multiplayer integration. And now, for my last game engine, is S&Box. S&Box is pretty new, but it is the closest analog to Roblox and is being developed by the creators of Rust and Gary's Mod. S&Box is open source, multiplayer and single-player experiences are built in and handled for you, and there is even a planned feature that allows users to export their games to Steam. It is being actively developed as part of being a new project, and it has mainly 3D tools and a similar system to DevX called the Play Fund. However, there are numerous cons for S&Box. One being that S&Box does not use Lua. Instead, S&Box uses C# or visual scripting for game development. Second is that S&Box, unfortunately, like our other options, are not free. It actually will cost $20 on release. Another con is that S&Box, at the moment, does not support iOS, Android, consoles, or web. And it has a smaller community as it has only really begun developing such. And for the last con, S&Box actually has higher PC requirements than the other options. This is because S&Box is being built on Source 2 by Valve. Source 2 is the engine that powers Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, Half-Life Alyx, and Deadlock. Now, while some might struggle to think how any of these options could replace Roblox, especially its multi-platform capabilities and free multiplayer, it is worth noting that that isn't the point. The point is getting away from Roblox and its predatory practices as they keep hurting themselves and the community. And it's also worth noting that you may be surprised with what you can do with these options. Your games may likely not be 3D or multiplayer, but you can make pretty much anything if you put enough time translating 3D mechanics into 2D. And while it may not be simple for multiplayer games to be made, You can do it, and you can even post it to websites like Crazy Games or Pokey to get a wide range of players if the engine allows you to support web exports. In the end, these are more suggestions than anything of how to allow yourself to not be as dependent on Roblox, especially as its future looks more and more uncertain. But other than that, I hope you all have enjoyed the video and have learned something new. Stay safe and have good luck with whatever it is you're trying to make.